11 o'clock, and I don't think twice about it.
Then you got the people who live in Laramie, basically.
I moved here from rural Texas.
Zachy Salmon.
Even with it. I mean, you know, as long as they weren't like hitting on him.
As long as they weren't doing it in front of him.
Yeah.
So, do you get the impression that he knew other gay people?
I'm sure he knew other people that are gay. I mean, he worked at the KFC and a couple people up there. And I'm not saying it's bad or anything. I mean, half the people I know in Laramie are gay.
Yeah.
What would you say to him if you saw him right now?
First of all, I'd ask him if he'd ever do any more tweak.
But I mean, I'd just be like, man, why did you fuck up like that? I mean, but of course I just want to see if he's doing good in there, you know, which I'm sure he is, but I just want to like hang out with him.
You know, smoke a bowl with him.
Yeah, I bet he wants them so bad.
You guys both went to Laramie High?
Can't you tell? We're a product of our society. On a day that is traditionally given over to nothing more profound than collegiate exuberance and the fortunes of the Wyoming football team, this community on the High Plains had a different kind of homecoming Saturday, as many searched their souls in the wake of a vicious, apparent anti-gay hate crime.
University President Philip Dubois.
This was homecoming weekend, and there were a lot of people in town, and there was a homecoming parade that was scheduled, and the students organized a tag on the back of it, behind the banner supporting men, everybody wearing the armbands that the students had created.
I live in the center of town,
Harry Woods.
and my house has two windows on opposite sides of the street. One goes north and one goes south, and that's exactly the homecoming day parade route. Now, on the day of the parade, I had a cast on my leg because of a fall, so I was very disappointed that I couldn't join the parade, but I watched from my window. And well, I'm 52 years old, and I'm gay, and I've seen a lot. And I was just very moved when I saw the tag at the homecoming day parade. About 100 people walking for Matthew Shepard. And then when the parade went around the corner to make a U-turn, I went to the other side of my apartment to watch it come south down the other street.
I was right up there in the front where they were holding the banner for Matthew. And I gotta tell you, I've never had goosebumps for so long in my life. It was this mass of people, with mothers holding their 6-year-old kids, tying the armbands around the kid, and just trying to explain to them why they're supposed to be wearing this armband. It was just one of the most incredible things I've done in my whole life.
So about 10 minutes went by, and sure enough, the parade started coming, and then I noticed the most incredible thing. The number of people walking for Matthew Shepard had increased 5 times. There must have been 500 people walking. 500 people, can you imagine? And then people just kept joining in. And you know what? I started to cry. Tears were just streaming down my face, and I thought to myself, thank God I got to see this in my lifetime. My second thought was, thank you, Matthew.
I haven't been all that involved, per se. My husband's a highway patrolman, so that's really the only way I've known about it now. When I first heard about it, I just thought it was awful. I can't. No one deserves that. I don't care who you are. But the other thing that was not brought up, at the same time that happened, that highway patrolman was killed. And there was nothing. They didn't say anything about the old man who killed him. He was driving down the road, and he shouldn't have been driving, and killed him. It was just a little piece in the paper, and we lost one of our guys. My husband worked with him. This man was brand new on the force. But, I mean, here's one of ours, and it's just a little piece in the paper. And part of it is my understanding and my feeling that the media is portraying Matthew Shepard as a saint and making him as a martyr. I don't think he was. I don't think he was that pure. Now, I didn't know him, but some of the things I heard about him, it's scary. Things about his character and spreading AIDS and other things, you know, being the type of person that he was. He was just a barfly, and I think he pushed himself around. I think he flaunted it. Everybody's got problems, but why they exemplified him, I don't know. What's the difference if you're gay? I hate crime. If you murder somebody, you hate him. It doesn't matter if you're gay or a prostitute or whatever. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Company member Lee Fontaine.
This is one of the last days on our second trip to Laramie. Greg and I have been conducting interviews non-stop, and we are exhausted.
We are to meet Father Rogers at 7:30 in the morning. I was wishing we could skip the whole thing altogether, but we have to follow through with it to the end. So here we go, 2 queers and a Catholic priest.
Matthew Shepard has served us well. You realize that? He has served us well. And I do not mean to condemn Matthew to perfection, but I truly cannot mention anyone who has done more for this community than Matthew Shepard. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I was just this bold guy. No fear. I was scared. I was very vocal in this community when this happened. I thought, should we call the bishop, ask his permission to hold the vigil? But then I thought, hell no. I'm not going to do that. His permission does not make it correct. And I'm not knocking bishops, you realize that. But what is correct is correct. You people are out here on a search, though. I will do this. I will trust you people that if you do write a play of this, that you say it right. Say it correct. I believe that you have a responsibility to do that. Don't make matters worse. You think violence is what they did to Matthew. They did do violence to Matthew. But you realize that every time you're called a fag, every time you're called a les or whatever,
Or a dyke.
A dyke, yeah. That is the seed of violence. And I would resent it immensely if you used anything that I say to somehow cultivate that type of violence. You need to know that.
Thank you, Father, for saying that.
Just deal with what is true. You know what is true. You need to do your best to say it correct.
Andrew Gomez.
I was in there. I was in jail with Aaron in December. I got thrown in over Christmas. Assault and battery, 2 counts. But I don't want to talk about that. So, anyway, we're sitting there, eating our Christmas dinner. My little roll, my motherfucking stuffing and whatnot. And I said to him, yo, homie, tell me something. Tell me something, please. Okay, I'm trying to think about how I worded it. Why did you kill a faggot if you're going to be destined to be a faggot later? I mean, think about it. He's either going to get humped a lot or he's going to die. I don't get it. And you know what he told me? Honest to God, that's what he said. He tried to grab my balls. He's dumb, dog. He needed to act like it was nothing. And now I heard they was auctioning those boys up there in Maxwell. You know where the killers go. Now once I heard Aaron was going to prison, it was auctioning the shit out of him. I want him. I'll put aside 5, 6, 7 cartons of cigarettes, auction his ass off. I'd be scared to go to prison if I was those 2 boys. Hello?
Hi, my name is Amanda Gronich. I believe your wife told you a little bit about why I'm contacting you?
Yes, she did. And let me tell you, I don't think I want to talk to anyone about this incident. I am someone involved, and I just don't think...
Right, I understand completely. I went to your service on Sunday.
You went to my services on Sunday?
Yeah.
On Sunday?
Yes, on Sunday.
Did I meet you?
Yeah, you greeted us at the beginning, I believe.
I see. Well, let me tell you, I'm not afraid to be controversial to speak my mind. but that is not necessarily the views of my congregation per se. Now, as I said, I am someone involved, that the people in the case, well, the girlfriend of the accused is a member of our congregation, and the accused has visited. Now, those two people, the accused, we've been after them for ages, trying to get them to live right, to do right. Now, one boy is on suicide watch, and I'm working with him. Until they put him in the chair and turn on the juice, I will work for his salvation. Now, I think they deserve the death penalty, but until then, I will try to deal with them spiritually.
Of course.
Now, as for the victim, I know that lifestyle is legal, but I will tell you one thing. I hope that Matthew Shepard, as he was tied to that fence, he had a chance to reflect on a moment when someone had spoken the word of the Lord to him. And before he slipped into a coma, he had time to reflect on his lifestyle.
Right. Thank you, Reverend, for speaking with me.
So, about 11:30 that night, I just barely got to bed and got a call. And it was from Margot, our chief operating officer, and she said his blood pressure began to drop. So I said, let's wait and see. And she called me about 10 after. He just died. So I quick got dressed, and I came in, and I went into the ICU where the family was, and Judy was there. She just came up to me, and she put her arms around me, and I just put my arms around her, and we just stood there, honestly, for 10 minutes, because what else do you do? Look, Dennis, this is public knowledge now. So we just sat down and we just talked about things. And Judy told me what she wanted me to say, and I went out at 4:00 a.m.
Matthew Shepard medical update, Monday, October 12th, 4:30 a.m.
At 12 midnight, October 12th, Matthew Shepard's blood pressure began to drop. We immediately contacted the family at this time who were already at the hospital. At 12:53, Matthew Shepard died. His family released the following statement. They again asked me to express their sincerest gratitudes toward the American public for the overwhelming response for their son. The family was grateful that they did not have to make a decision regarding whether to continue life support. Like a good son, he removed guilt or stress from the family. Matthew came into this world premature and left this world premature. Matthew's mother said, go home, hug your kids, and don't let a day go by without telling them how much you love them. I don't know what happened, how I just lost it on national television. Well, we've been up for 72 hours and I've gone home and gone to bed for half an hour and come back in, and it's just being up there and reading that statement. I just saw my own $4 and how she doesn't have hers anymore. Just up there thinking this is so lame. And then we started getting these emails and these letters, and most of them were very kind. But we got this one guy. He said, you cry on TV for all your patients or just the faggots. And like I told you, homosexuality is not a lifestyle in which I agree with, but being thrown into this, I just couldn't understand the magnitude in which some people hate. And I just thought how much this hurt me. And we got, out of all the letters, there were at least 2 or 3 like that. But most of them were, thank you for your caring and compassion. compassion, and Matthew had caring compassion from the moment he got here.
I spoke with Doc O'Connor today, and I told him that we would soon be returning to Laramie for the upcoming trials of Aaron McKinney and Russell Henderson. And this is what he had to say. Those two boys get put to death. It would defeat the purpose of everything that Matt would have been thinking about on them. Matt would not have wanted those two boys to die. He'd want to leave them with hope. H-O-P-E. Just like how the whole world was hoping that Matthew was going to survive. You see, this whole thing, the whole thing ropes around hope. H-O-P-E. Day of the funeral, it was snowing so bad. Big, huge, wet snowflakes, and everyone was wearing just black. Umbrellas everywhere. There were two churches. One for the family, invited guests, people of that nature, and one for people that just wanted to be there. And there were about 100 people still, couldn't fit into either church. And there was this park outside the two churches, and that's where these people were. And this park was full.
The liturgy today is an Easter liturgy. It finds its meaning in the resurrection. The service invites your full participation. May the Lord be with you.
And also with you.
Let us pray.
And it was like the worst storm they ever had. No that anyone could ever tell. Trees fell down, the power went out for a couple of days. And I remember thinking to myself, it's like all the forces of the universe at work. Like whatever higher spirit that you believe in that blows storms was blowing this storm.
For our brother Matthew, let us pray to the Lord Jesus Christ, who said, I am the resurrection and the life. We pray to the Lord.
Hear us, Lord.
Lord, you who consoled Martha and Mary in their distress, draw near to those who mourn for Matthew, and dry the tears of those who weep. We pray to the Lord.
Hear us, Lord.
You wept at the grave of Lazarus, your friend. Comfort us in our sorrows. We pray to the Lord.
Hear us, Lord.
You raised the dead to life. Give to our brother eternal life. We pray to the Lord.
Hear us, Lord.
You promised paradise to the thief who repented. Bring our brother the joys of the heaven. We pray to the Lord.
Hear us, Lord.
You nourished him with your body and blood. Grant him a place at your heavenly kingdom. We pray to the Lord.
Hear us, Lord.
Lord, comfort us in our sorrows at the death of our brother. Let faith be with us and eternal life our hope. We pray to the Lord.
My most striking memory of the funeral
Carrie Drake, Casper Star Tribune.
was the Reverend Fred Phelps. That whole scene go up in the park.
Do you believe in the Bible? Do you believe that you're supposed to separate the precious from the vile? You don't believe in that part of the Bible, yet you sit there ignorant of the fact that 2 times for every verse of the Bible that talks about God's love, it talks about God's hate.
A bunch of high school students that got out of school early came over and started yelling at the people in the protest, the Fred Phelps people. And across the street, you had people lining up for the funeral. Well, I remember this one guy. I remember this skinhead dressed in leather and spikes everywhere. Well, I remember he came from across the street where the protest was and into the crowd of people. And I thought, oh, this is going to be a really ugly confrontation. But instead, he came over and started leading the people in amazing grace.
We wouldn't even be here if this was going to be another murder the state was going to deal with. The state deals with hundreds of murders every single day. But this murder is different. It's different because the fags are coming out. And they're trying to make Matthew Shepard into the poster boy for the gay lifestyle. And we're going to answer for it. It's just that simple.
6 weeks later, the company returned to Laramie for the trial of Russell Henderson, one of the 2 perpetrators. When the company arrived, Reverend Fred Phelps was already there.
You don't like that attribute of God?
But so was Romaine Patterson.
That perfect attribute of God, well, we love that attribute of God, and we're going to preach it. Because God's hatred is pure. It's a determination that He's going to send some people straight to hell.
That's God's hatred.
After seeing Fred Phelps protesting at Matthew's funeral and finding out that he was coming to Laramie for the trial of Russell Henderson, I decided that somebody needed to stand toe-to-toe with this guy and show him the differences. And I think that when we're talking about hatred, as much as the nation is right now, that someone needs to show that there is a different way of dealing with that kind of hatred. So our idea is to dress up like angels. And we've designed this angel outfit. For our wings are huge. They're like big-ass wings. And there'll be 10 or 20 of us that are angels. And what we're going to do is we're going to encircle Phelps. And because of our wings, our big-ass wings, we're going to completely block him out. So this big-ass band of angels comes in. We don't say a fucking word. We just turn our backs to him and stand there. And we're a group of people bringing forth a message of peace and love and compassion. And we're calling it Angel Action. Yeah, this 21-year-old little lesbian is ready to walk the line with him.
When those old preachers laid their hands on me, it's called an ordination. Then they deliver a charge of mine. It's from Isaiah 58:1. Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions.
And I knew that my angels were going to be taking the brunt of what he had to say. I mean, we were going to be blocking his view, and he was going to be pissed off to all hell. So I went out, and I got all my angels' earplugs.
The court is in session. Romaine Patterson's sister, Trish Stager.
As soon as they started jury selection, everyone was coming into my shop saying, I don't want to be on this trial. I hope they don't call me. Or, oh my God, I've been called. How do I get off? You know, just trying to get as far away from it as they could. Very fearful they were going to have to be a part of that jury. And then I heard Henderson sound in the courtroom while they questioned prospective jurors. And one of the questions that they ask is, would you be willing to put this person to death? And I understand that a lot of the answers were,
Yes, I would, Your Honor.
yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
No problem.
Well, can you
Yes,
imagine
I would,
hearing
Your
that?
Honor.
Yes, you know, juror after juror after
No
juror.
problem.
You entered a plea of not guilty earlier, Mr. Henderson, but I understand that you wish to change that plea today?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that the recommended sentence here is 2 life terms?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that those terms may run concurrently or consecutively?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Henderson, I will now ask you how you wish to plead.
Guilty.
Very well. Before the court decides whether those sentences will run concurrently or consecutively, I understand that there are statements to be made by at least one individual.
This is an excerpt from a statement made to the court by Lucy Thompson.
As the grandmother and the person who raised Russell, along with my family, we have written the following statement. Our hearts ache for the pain and suffering that the shepherds have went through. We have prayed for your family since the very beginning. I have, many times throughout the day, I have thought about Matt, and you will continue to be in our thoughts and our prayers as we know your pain will never go away. You have showed us such mercy in allowing us to have this plea, and we are so grateful that you are giving us all the opportunity to live. Your Honor, we, as a family, hope that as you sentence Russell, that you do it concurrently, 2 life terms. For the Russell we know and love, we humbly plead, Your Honor, to not take Russell completely out of our lives forever. Thank you.
Mr. Henderson, you have constitutional right to make a statement if you would like to do so.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. and Mrs. Shepard, there's not a moment that goes by that I don't see what happened that night. I know what I did was very wrong. You have my greatest sympathies for what I've done. Your Honor, I know what I did was wrong, and I'm ready to pay my debt for what I did.
Mr. Henderson, you drove the vehicle that took Matthew Shepard to his death. You tied him to that fence in order that he might be more savagely beaten, and in order that he might not escape to tell his tale. You left him out there for 18 hours, knowing full well that he was there. Perhaps having an opportunity to save his life, you did nothing. Mr. Henderson, this court does not believe that you feel any true remorse for your actions, and I wonder whether you fully realize the gravity of what you've done. The court finds it appropriate, therefore, that the sentence be ordered as follows. As to count 3, that being felony murder with robbery, you will serve a period of imprisonment for the term of your natural life. As for count 1, that being kidnapping, you will serve a period of imprisonment for the term of your natural life. Sentencing for count 1 to run consecutive to sentencing for count 3.
After the hearing, we spoke with Russell Henderson's Mormon home teacher.
I've known Russell's family for 38 years. Russell is only 21, so I've known him his whole life. I ordained Russell a priest of the Mormon Church. So when this happened, you can imagine disbelief. After the sentencing, the church held a disciplinary council, and the result of that meeting was to excommunicate Russell. And what that means is that your name is taken off the records. You just disappear. Russell's reaction to this was not positive. It hurt him. And it hurt him to realize at that point how serious a transgression he had committed. But I will not desert Russell, for that is a matter of my friendship with the family and my religion.
Before leaving Laramie, he met again with Rebecca Hilliker of the theater department. She is producing Angels in America this year at the university.
I think that's the focus the university has taken, is that we have a lot of work to do. We have an obligation to our students, and the question is, how do we reach them? How do we reach a whole state that has a real history of deep-seated hostility towards gays? This is the beginning. And guess who's auditioning for the lead?
Parents!
Jedediah Schultz.
My parents were like, so what plays are you doing this year at school? And I go, Angels in America, and that lists all these other plays, and they're like, wait, Angels in America? Is that the scene you did in high school? That play you did in high school? And I go, yeah. And they go on and on about how wrong it is. And the best thing I had on them is, I just done Macbeth, and I played this guy who kills this little kid and Lady Macduff and 3 other people. And so my mom goes on and she goes, homosexuality is a sin and blah, blah, blah. And I go, Mom, you just saw me play a murderer tonight and you didn't have a problem with that. I tell you, I've never prepared myself for an audition this much in my life. Not ever, not even close.
Not having to do that much with the gay society here in Laramie.
Detective Sergeant Rob DeGree.
Well, once we started working into the case and actually speaking to the people that were gay and finding out what their underlying fears were, well, then it sort of hit home. This is America. You don't have that right to feel that kind of fear. And I mean, you're still going to have people that hold with the old ideals. And I was probably one of them 14 months ago. But I'm not going to put up with it and I'm not going to listen to it. If you don't like my views on it, fine. The door goes both ways. I already lost a couple of buddies. I feel better and I can sleep at night.
Well, you see, you get tested every 3 weeks.
Reggie Flutie.
And so I get this, well, first I get my blood drawn at Fort Collins, and then they fly it to Michigan, and that's where they actually do the testing. And like it was like a week and a half later, I knew I was negative for good.
I tell you, we were all on our knees saying, "Hey!"
I mean, you're just so elated, you know? All you can think is, thank God.
So what's the first thing she does?
I went and stuck my tongue right in my husband's mouth. I mean, we were all just so happy. And my daughters, they were just bawling.
Oh, they were so happy.
And the force.
Oh boy.
We went out and got shit-faced. I mean, it was great. Everybody who walked through those doors was buying me drinks, and they each got a kiss on the lips.
Reggie, how do you know that?
And I didn't care if they were male or female. They each got a kiss on the lips.
Reggie, what did you not understand about what I just told you?
Oh, get over it, Ma. Almost a year to the day of Matthew Shepard's death, the trial for Aaron James McKinney was set to begin.
Probably the question most of you have in your minds is, how the McKinney case is set to begin. And it's the decision of the county's attorney's office that it will definitely be a death penalty case.
Part of me hopes McKinney gets it. I'm not proud of that. I'm too close to the case. I don't know what I would do.
I believe in the death penalty 100%. You know, because I want to make sure that guy's ass dies. This is one instance where I truly believe with all my heart, an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth.
I don't know about the death penalty, but I don't ever want to see them walk out of Rawlins Penitentiary. I'll pay my nickel, my little percentage of the tax, nickel a day, make sure that his ass stays in there and never sees society again, and definitely never walks into my bar again.
I don't believe in the death penalty. It's too much for me. I don't believe that one person's life should be taken as consequence having taken another's. Two wrongs don't make a right.
How can I protest if the Shepherds want McKinney dead? I just can't interfere with that, but on a personal level, I knew Aaron in grade school. We never called him Aaron. He was AJ. AJ McKinney. So, how do we put AJ McKinney to death?
I think that right now, our two most important teachers ought to be Aaron McKinney and Russell Henderson. They have to be our teachers. How did you learn? What did we as a society do to teach you that that's okay? I don't think that most people will allow them to be their teachers, but I think that it would be wonderful if the judge said, in addition to your sentencing, you must tell your story. You must tell your story.
All rise, the state of Wyoming versus Aaron James McKinney, docket number 63H1. The Honorable Barton R. Boyd presiding. The court is in session.
During the trial, the prosecution played a taped recording of McKinney's confession.
My name is Robert Breach, Sergeant for the Sheriff's Department. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and may be used against you in the court of law.
The following is an excerpt of that confession.
Okay, so you guys, you and Russ going to the fireside. So you're at the fireside by yourselves, correct?
Yeah.
Where'd you go once you left the fireside?
Some kid wanted to ride home.
What did he look like?
Like a queer. Such a queer dude.
He looked like a queer.
Yeah. Like a fag, you know?
How'd you meet him?
He wanted to ride home. I'm like, dude's drunk, let's just take him home.
So when did you and Russ talk about jacking him up?
Kind of talked about it at the bar.
Okay, what happened next?
Well, we drove him out past Walmart. We get over there, and he starts trying to grab my leg, trying to grab my genitals. And I'm like, look, I'm not a fucking faggot. Touch me one more time and you're gonna get it.
What'd you beat him with?
Blacked out. My fist, my pistol, the butt of my gun. You know, I had a few beers at the bar. I was like, I could see what was happening, but I don't know. It was like someone else was doing it.
What was the first thing that he said or did in the truck that made you hit him?
Well, he put his hand on my leg and slid it as if he's gonna grab my balls.
When that defense team argued that McKinney did what he did because Matthew made a pass at him, I just wanted to vomit, because that's like saying it's okay. It's like the Twinkie defense, when that guy killed Harvey Milk in Moscow, and it's the same thing.
You know, a part of me was glad when the defense used the term gay panic and gay bashing, because otherwise I was scared that it was going to be passed off as like a drug deal gone bad or something. And in my head I'm thinking, you know, the truth is coming out. The truth is finally coming out.
Did he ever try to defend himself against you or hit you back?
Yeah, he tried his little swings or whatever. They weren't very effective.
How many times did you guys hit him before you guys stopped where you left him?
Say about 2 or 3 times, about 3 times with my fists and about 6 times with my pistol.
Did he ever ask you to stop?
Oh yeah, he was getting the shit kicked out of him.
What'd he say?
I don't know. He asked me to stop, and then most of all he was doing was screaming.
So Russ kind of dragged him over the fence, I'm assuming, and tied him up.
Yeah, I remember Russ was scared. Well, he was laughing first, then he got scared.
Was Matthew conscious when Russ tied him up?
Yeah, I told him, don't look at my license plate. And then I asked him if he could read it, and he read it to me, so I hit him a few more times.
So, just to be sure, you obviously don't like gay people.
No, I don't.
Would you say you hate them?
Wouldn't really say I hate them, but, you know, if they start coming on to me, I get pretty aggravated.
Did he threaten you?
This gay dude?
Yeah.
Not really.
Well, can you answer me one thing? Why'd you guys take his shoes?
I don't know. Will I ever get to see my son again?
I don't know, you're probably just gonna go to court sometime today.
What, plead guilty or not guilty today?
No, you're just going to be arraigned today.
Is he gonna die for sure?
There's no doubt that Mr. Shepard is going to die.
So what are they gonna do? They're gonna give me 25 to life? Or the death penalty and just get it over with?
That's not our job. That's the judge's job and the jury's.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
We have, Your Honor. We, the jury, impaneled and sworn to try the above entitled case, after having well and truly tried the matter, find as follows. As to the charge of kidnapping, we find the defendant, Aaron James McKinney, guilty. As to the charge of aggravated robbery, we find the defendant, Aaron James McKinney, guilty. As to the charge of first-degree felony murder, kidnapping, we find the defendant, Aaron James McKinney, guilty. As to the charge of
Aaron
first-degree
McKinney was
felony
found
murder,
guilty of felony murder, which meant the jury could give him the death penalty.
Guilty.
That evening, Judy and Dennis Shepard were approached by McKinney's defense team, who pled for their client's life. The prosecution indicated that they would defer to the family's wishes as to whether or not to pursue the death penalty. The next morning, Dennis Shepard made a statement to the court. Here is some of what he said.
My son Matthew did not look like a winner. He was rather uncoordinated and wore braces from the age of 13 to the time he died. On October 6th, my son tried to prove to the world that he could win again. October 12, 1998. My firstborn son and my hero lost. On October 12, 1998, my firstborn son and my hero died 52 days before his 22nd birthday. And I keep thinking the same thing that I did when I saw him in the hospital. What would he have become? What piece of the world would he have changed? My son officially died in a hospital in Fort Collins, Colorado, but he actually died on the outskirts of Laramie. You, Mr. McKinney, and your friend, Mr. Henderson, left him out there alone. But he wasn't alone. He had his lifelong friends with him. Friends he's had since childhood. And you're probably wondering what friends I'm talking about. He had the beautiful night sky and the stars and the moon that he used to look at through a telescope. He had the daylight and the sun to shine on him. And through it all, he was taking in the scent of the pine trees, of the snowy range, and the Wyoming wind, that ever-present wind. And he had one more friend. He had God. And I personally feel better knowing that he wasn't alone. hospitalization and death and funerals brought attention to worldwide hate. Good is coming out of evil. People said enough is enough. I miss my son, but I'm proud to say that he was my son. Judy has been quoted to be against the death penalty, and Matthew has been quoted to be against the death penalty, but both those statements are false. Matthew knew that there were certain crimes that justify the death penalty. I too believe in the death penalty. And as much as I would like to see you die, Mr. McKinney, this is the time for the healing process. As much as I would like to see you die, I'm going to let you live because of Matthew. To show someone mercy who's refused to show any mercy at all. Every time, Mr. McKinney, every time you celebrate a Christmas or birthday or 4th of July, remember that Matthew isn't. Every time you wake up in your prison cell, I want you to remember that you had the possibility to stop your actions that night, but you didn't. You robbed me of something very precious, and I will never forgive you for that. May you have a
Lenny, stop drinking so much. Lenny, quit it. You're gonna be sick like you was last night.
That's good. You drink some, George. Drink some too.
Not sure it's any good. It's kind of scummy to me.
Look at them wrinkles in the water, George. Look what I done.
Tastes all right. Don't see me running though. Lenny, you oughtn't to drink water when you ain't running. Drink water out of the gutter, goosers. Could just as well rode clear to the ranch. That bus driver didn't know what he was talking about. Just a little further down the road, he says. Just a little further down the road. Damn near 4 miles. Bet he was too lazy to stop by the ranch gate. Wonder he wasn't too lazy to stop by Soledad at all. Just a little further down the road.
George?
Yeah?
Where are we going, George?
So you forgot that, did you? So I gotta tell you again? Jeez, you're crazy.
I forgot. I try not to forget. Honest, I did.
All right, I'll tell you again. I ain't got nothing better to do. You forget these things and I tell you again. I tell you over and over.
I tried, but it didn't do no good. I remember about the rabbits.
Well, to hell with the rabbits. Can't remember nothing but that and rabbits. You remember sitting on a gutter in Murray and Reddy's and we was watching the blackboard?
Oh, sure, I remember that, but what did we do then? I remember some girls come by and you says...
To hell with what I says. You remember us going into Murray and Reddy's and then they give us work cards and bus tickets?
Oh, sure, I remember that. George?
Yeah?
I ain't got mine. I must have lost it.
You ain't got yours. I got them both right here. You think I'd let you carry your own work card?
Oh, I thought I put it in my pocket.
Lenny.
Huh, George?
What'd you take out of your pocket?
Ain't a thing in my pocket.
I know they're right. It's in your hand now. What do you got?
It ain't got nothing, George. Honest.
All right, give it here.
It's only a mouse.
A mouse? A live mouse?
No, a dead mouse.
Look, give it here. Come on. What do you want of a dead mouse anyway?
I was petting it with my thumb while we walked along.
Well, you ain't petting no mice while you walk with me. Now come on, where are we going?
I forgot.
All right. We're going on a ranch like the one we come up from up north.
Up north?
In Weed.
Oh, sure, I remember. In Weed.
All right. We're going to go there, and I'm going to give them the work cards. And you're not going to say a word. You're just going to sit there and not say nothing.
Not say nothing.
If the boss finds out what a crazy bastard you are, we ain't getting no job. But if he sees you work before he hears you talk, we're set. You got that?
Sure, George, I got that.
Alright, so what are you going to do?
I'm just gonna stand there. I'm not gonna say nothing.
Good boy. Now say that a few more times so you're sure you won't forget.
I'm just gonna stand there. I'm not gonna say nothing. Not gonna say nothing.
Ain't gonna do no bad things like you done in weed, neither.
Like I done in weed?
So you forgot that too, did you?
Oh, they run us out of weed.
Run us out, hell. We run. They didn't catch us.
I didn't forget that, you bet.
Jeez, if I didn't have you on my tail, I could get along so easy. I'd get a job at work and no trouble. God almighty.
George?
Yeah?
Are you gonna work on a ranch, George?
Alright, well you got that. We're going to stay out here tonight because I want to sleep out.
Why aren't we going onto the ranch and get some supper? They got supper at the ranch.
No reason at all. I just like out here. With the stars. I seen threshing machines on my way down here. That means we're going to be bucking grain bags. Busting a gut lifting them big bags. But tonight, we're just going to sit here, look up. Tonight, there ain't a grain bag or a boss in the world. Tonight, drinks on the house. Nice house we got here, Lenny.
Ain't we gonna have no supper?
Why, sure we are. I got 3 cans of beans in my bindle. You'll go get some dead willow sticks. I'll open them up while you make a fire. We'll eat them cold.
I like my beans with ketchup.
Well, we ain't got any ketchup. Now hurry up and get them dead willow sticks. It'll be dark before long. All right, give me that mouse.
What mouse, George? I ain't got no mouse.
Come on, give it over here. You ain't putting nothing over.
I don't know why I can't keep it. I found it laying right beside the road there. I didn't steal it. It ain't nobody's mouse. I was just petting it. That ain't so bad.
You crazy son of a bitch. You thought you'd get away with that, didn't you? Don't you think I couldn't see your feet was wet from when he went in the wire to get it? God almighty, big guy like you, acting up. Lenny, I ain't taking away to be mean. That mouse wasn't fresh. Besides, you broke it petting it. You get a mouse that's fresh and I'll let you keep it around. You hear me, Lenny?
I don't know whether there's no other mouse. I remember a lady used to give them to me. Everyone she got, she used to give. But that lady ain't here no more.
Lady, huh? Give me that stick there. Don't even remember your own Aunt Clara. She stopped giving them to you. You always killed them.
They were so little. I'd be petting their little heads, and then they'd bite my fingers, and then I'd pinch their heads a little bit. And then they was dead because they were so little. I wish we'd get rabbits pretty soon, George. They ain't so little.
To hell with the rabbits. Can't think of nothing but them things. Let's eat. Enough beans for 4 men.
I like my beans with ketchup.
Well, we ain't got any ketchup. You know, whatever we ain't got, that's what you want. God almighty! You know, if I was off by myself, I'd get along so easy. I could get a job at work and no trouble. No mess! And when the end of the month comes, I could take my money and I could go to town, get wherever I want. Get any damn thing. I could go to a cat house. I could go any place or any damn thing. I could do that every month. I could get a gallon of whiskey or sit in a pool room and play cards and shoot pool. And what do I got? I got you. You can't keep a job, you lose me every job I get.
I didn't mean nothing, George.
You just keep me shoved all over the country. And that ain't the worst of it. You get in trouble. You do bad things, and I gotta be the one to get you out. You just want to feel that girl's dress You just want to hold it like it was a mouse. Well, how the hell did you know you just wanted to hold it? How the hell did you know you just wanted to feel it like it was a mouse?
I didn't mean to, George.
Well, of course he didn't mean to. He didn't mean for you bloody hell either. He didn't mean for us to stay in the ditch all night with guys out looking for us with guns all the time. It's something you didn't want. Well, you know what? I wish I could put you in a cage with 1,000,000 mice and let them pet you.
George? George.
What do you want?
I don't want no ketchup, George.
You know, if we had any ketchup, you could have some. And if I had $1,000, I'd buy a bunch of flowers.
I don't want no ketchup, George. Even if it was right here beside me, I wouldn't touch none of it. Hell, you come here being so deep with it.
Well, I think of the swell time with that I could have without you. I go nuts. I never get no peace.
You want I should leave and go away?
Yeah, and where'd you go to?
Well, I could golf up in them hills there and find a cave.
Yeah, and what'd you eat? You ain't got sense enough to find nothing to eat.
I could find things. Of course, I'd never have no nice food with ketchup. But I could lay out in the sun all day and no one would hurt me. And if I found a mouse, well, I could keep it. And wouldn't no one take it away from me.
I've been mean, ain't I?
If you don't want me, you only gotta say so.
No, I want you to stay with me. The trouble with mice is you always kill them. Let me tell you what. First chance I get, I'll get you a pup. Maybe you wouldn't kill it. That'd be better than mice. You can pet it harder.
George?
Yeah?
Tell me like you've done before, George.
Tell you what.
About the rabbits.
You ain't putting nothing over on me.
Please, George, tell.
You get a kick out of it, don't you? All right, I'll tell you. Then we'll lay out our beds and eat supper. Guys like us work on ranches as the loneliest guys in the world. They go out to a ranch and work up a steak, then they go into town and blow all their steak in. They don't got no one in the world that gives a hoot in hell about them. They got nothing to look ahead to.
But not us. Tell about us now.
Well, with us it ain't like that. We got a future. We got somebody to talk to that gives a damn about us. And if the other guys ends up in jail, they can rot for all anybody gives a damn. We don't have to sit in no bar room blowing in our scratches because we ain't got nothing to look ahead to.
And not us, because I got you to look after me, and you got me to look after you. That's why. That's who gives a hoot and hell about us.
Oh, you got it by heart. Why don't you tell it yourself?
No, I forgot some of the stuff.
I'll tell it some other time.
No! Tell how it's gonna be.
All right. Sunday, we're going to work the scratch up. And we're going to get a little place. Have a little house and a couple of acres, and a windmill, and a shed, and a cow, and some pigs, maybe some chickens,
and rabbits?
Rabbits.
And I get to tend the rabbits?
Oh, I don't know, Lenny. I don't know about that. And in the winter, why, we just go in. We'd say, to hell with going to work when it rains. We'd sit inside, right around the stove, build it up nice and hot. Listen to the rain come down on the roof. Nuts. I ain't got time for no more. What are you going to say tomorrow when the boss asks you questions?
I'm just gonna stand there. I'm not gonna say nothing.
Hey, good job. You know what? I'll bet I can let you tend those rabbits. Especially if you can remember as good as that.
I can remember, by God.
Lenny, you see this place right here? Ranch is about a quarter mile up that way. You follow the river and you get right to this spot. You remember this place?
Sure, George, I can remember here. Didn't I remember about not gonna say a word?
Sure you did. Now, Lenny, if you should ever get in trouble, I want you to come to this spot, and I want you to hide in the brush.
Hide in the brush.
Hide in the brush if you get in trouble. And don't let no one see you. Hide in the brush.
Hide in the brush until you come for me.
I'll come for you, yes. Hide in the bush, and I'll come right. You say it over a few times, so you're sure you won't forget.
Hide in the brush until you come for me. Down in the brush until you come for me.
By the river.
By the river.
All right, you got it. Leastways, I hope so. Gonna be nice out here. With the stars. Don't build up no fire. We'll let her die. Jesus, you feel free when you ain't got a job. As long as you ain't hungry. Good night, Lenny.
George,
Yeah, Lenny?
let's have different color rabbits.
Sure. Different colored rabbits. Red ones, green ones, blue ones. Millions of them.
And furry ones, like I seen at the fair in Sacramento?
Yeah, furry ones.
Because I can just as well go away and find a cave.
Lenny, shut up!
George,
Jesus Christ, Lenny, what?
shut up, George.
It says, where the hell's them new men? You get Stablebuck comes too. Stablebuck's a nigger.
Bigger, huh?
Yep, got her crooked back from where I'm working. The boss gets her home with that, but the Stablebuck don't give a damn about that.
What kind of guy's the boss?
Well, he's a nice enough fellow for a boss. Tell you what he did. One Christmas, he came right in with a whole gallon of whiskey, sat right there and says, drink hearty, boys. Christmas comes but once a year.
Whole gallon.
Yes, sir. We had fun that night. They even let the nigger come in. Well, a little skinner named Smitty took after the nigger. Done pretty good, too. The guys wouldn't let him use his feet, so the nigger got him. Smitty said if he could have used his feet, he would have killed the nigger.
What kind of guy's the boss? I mean, is he the owner or what?
Nah, superintendent. It's a big land company.
Oh.
Yes, sir. I'd be careful. The boss's son will be coming in soon.
You the two new guys my old man was waiting for?
Yes, sir. Just come.
How come you wasn't here this morning?
This bus driver gave us some unsteer.
Ever buck barley?
Oh, yes. Done a lot
I
of it.
meant him. Ever buck barley?
Why, sure, yes.
Hey, let the big guy talk.
Well, suppose he don't want to talk.
By Christ, he's gotta talk when he's supposed to. What the hell are you shoving into this for? What's your stake in this guy?
Me and him travel together.
Oh, so it's that way.
What way? Him and me are cousins. I know his aunt. He was kicked in the head with a mule when he was a kid. He's all right. Just not that smart.
You won't let the big guy talk, is that it?
Well, he can talk if he wants to.
Well, we just come in.
God knows you don't need no brains to buck barley bags. What's your name?
George Milton.
George Milt. Yours?
His name's Lenny Small.
Lenny Where you from?
Up north. And
You too?
him too.
Say, you're a big guy, ain't you?
He sure is. He's as strong as a bull.
I'm as strong as a bull.
You are, huh? So what can you do?
Anything you tell him.
Why'd you quit up in weed?
Job was done.
What kind of job?
We was digging a cesspool.
Alright, but don't try to put nothing over me because you ain't getting away with nothing. I've seen wise guys like you before. Go out with the grain teams after dinner. Then I'll fucking buy you with thrashing machines. Go out with Slim's team.
Slim?
Yeah, big, tall Skinner. You'll see him at dinner. See ya.
So you wasn't gonna say a word. I was gonna do all the talking. You was gonna keep your big flapper shut. You goddamn near lost us the job.
I forgot.
You forgot. You always forget. Now he's got his eye on us. Look, after this, you keep your big flapper shut. You hear me?
Sure, George. I got that. George.
Yeah?
I wasn't kicked in the head with no horse, was I, George?
Be a damn good thing if you was.
You said that was your cousin.
Well, that was a goddamn lie. He was my cousin. What are you doing listening on us?
Nah, I ain't listening. I'm trying to keep my dog still.
Well,
That was the boss's son, Curly. He done quite a bit in the ring. The guys say he's pretty handy.
well, Len be handy. You didn't have to take after Lenny like that.
Well, tell you what. Curly's like a lot of little guys. He hates big guys. He's all the time taking scraps with big guys. Kind of like he's mad at him because he ain't a big guy. You seen little guys like that, ain't you? Always scrappy?
Sure I have. I've seen plenty of tough little guys. This here Curly better not mess around with Lenny too much. If he gets in a fight with Lenny, he's gonna get hurt.
Well, you guys say Curly's pretty handy. It never did seem right to me. Suppose Curly picks a fight with a big guy and licks him. Everybody says what a game guy Curly is. But suppose Curly picks a fight with a big guy and gets licked. Everybody says the big guy ought to pick on somebody his own size. Seems to me like Curly ain't giving nobody a fair chance.
Yeah. Well, looks like we was gonna have fun.
It feels like he's been worse the past few weeks. He got married a couple weeks ago. Wife lives over in the boss's house. Seems like ever since he got married, Curly's sitting on a big anthill. And a big red ant come up and nipped him in the turnip. Feels so goddamn miserable, striking anything that moves. I feel kind of sorry for him.
Maybe he's showing off for his wife.
You seen that glove on his left hand?
Sure, I seen it.
Well, that glove's full of Vaseline.
Vaseline? What the hell for?
Curly says he's keeping that head soft for his wife.
That's kind of a dirty thing to tell around.
I ain't quite so sure. I've seen all sorts of things a guy do trying to be nice. But wait till you see Curly's wife.
Why, she pretty?
Yeah, pretty, but...
But what?
Well, she's got the eye.
Oh yeah, been married 2 weeks and already got the eye. Maybe that's why Curly's pants is so full of ants.
Yes, sir, I seen her give Slim the eye. Slim's a jerk like Slim. Hell of a nice fellow. Well, I seen her give Slim the eye. Curly never seen that. And I seen her give a skidder named Carlson the eye. Yeah. You know what I think? I think Curly's married himself a tart.
Why you done that?
Yeah, well, you just look her over, mister. You see if she ain't a tart.
Now look here, Lenny. Lenny! Now look here. This here ain't no setup. You're gonna have trouble with that there Curly bastard. Now, look, he's gonna take a swing at you. First chance he gets. I seen that kind of fool.
Don't sock me, George. I don't want no trouble. I ain't done nothing to him.
Well, I won't do you no good. Curly wants to set himself up for a fighter. Look, you just keep away from him, you hear?
Sure, George. I got that.
Stablebach! Stablebach! Oh, Stablebach!
Here come the
Yes,
guys.
sir, Mr. Slim.
Don't say nothing, all right?
Sure, George.
Just mad at this here Curly bastard. I wanted we should get a little steak together. Maybe $100, you know? Look, if the bastard takes a swing at you, just let him have it, all right?
Let him have what?
Never mind. Look, you remember what I told you last night, right?
If I get in trouble, you ain't gonna let me tend the rabbits.
No, but down by the river. Well, I told you about the river. What did I tell you about the river?
Oh. Hide in the brush until you come for me.
All right, good job. Hide in the brush by the river. Say that over a few times.
Hide in the brush by the river. Down in the brush by the river.
If you get in trouble.
If I get in trouble.
Looking for Curly.
He was here a moment ago.
The new fellas that just come, ain't ya?
Yep.
Sometimes Curly's in here.
Well, he ain't now.
Well, if he ain't, then I guess I'd better look somewhere else.
I'll tell him he was looking for you.
Oh, nobody can't blame a person for looking.
That's what she's looking for.
Well, I'm just looking for somebody to talk to. Don't you never just want somebody to talk to?
Put that lead pattern in the north stall.
Hi, Slim.
Hello.
I'm looking for Curly.
Well, you ain't trying very hard. You can go in your house.
I gotta be going.
Jeez, what a tramp. I can still smell that stink she's got on. God almighty. Don't have to see her to know she's around.
She's pretty.
Yeah, she's sure hiding it, too. Curly's got his work ahead of him.
Gosh, she's pretty.
Now look here, you bastard. Don't even look at that bitch. I've seen that kind before. Look, they's poisoned the guys. Look, don't even smell near her. You hear me?
I never smelled George.
I know you didn't, but when she was there showing off her legs, you wasn't looking the other way neither.
I didn't mean no bad things, George. Honest.
Yeah, well, you keep away from her. Curly let himself in for it. You let him take the rap on this. Glove full of Vaseline. I bet he's eating raw eggs and writing the patent medicine houses. God almighty.
George, I don't like this place. This ain't no good place. I don't like this place.
I tell you, we gotta stay here a little while. We gotta make a stake. If we can get a few dollars and we can shove off to the American River and pan for gold. Guy can make a couple dollars a day there.
Let's go, George. Let's get out of here. It's mean here.
I tell you, we gotta make up a little stake. The little place we're trying to get, well, it's cheap, but they ain't giving it away.
Maybe we should wash up.
I don't see why. We ain't done nothing to get dirty.
Why is this fish outside? Can't hardly see nothing. You the new guys?
Yeah, just come.
Gonna buck barley?
That's what Curly said.
Hope you got on my team.
Curly said we'd be with a jerkline Skinner named Slim.
That's me.
You're a jerkline Skinner.
I can stop around a bit.
Well, that kind of makes you Jesus Christ on this ranch, don't it?
Oh, nuts. I hope I get you on my team. I have a pair of punks who don't know a barley bag from a blue ball.
Yeah. Well, I done a lot of bucking barley. I ain't nothing to scream about, but you know, this guy right here can put away more grain than most pairs can. He's he's a pretty strong guy. Not very smart. Hell of a nice fella, too. I known him a long time.
You guys travel around together?
Sure, we kind of look after each other. He ain't bright. I've known him a long time, though.
Hardly any guys travel around together. Seems like the whole goddamn world's scared of each other.
Well, it's a lot nicer to go around with the guy you know. I mean, you get used to it, and they ain't fun alone no more.
Well, nice to know. There won't be nothing left in a couple minutes. Fish slaying litter of pups last night. She's gonna need as much as she can get.
George!
Oh, yeah, I heard him, Lenny. I heard him.
A brown and white one.
Yeah, brown and white one. Look, I'll ask him. I don't know if he has one.
You ask him right away, George.
I will, Lenny. Don't worry about it. Now let's go get some supper, all right?
Have you guys seen a girl around here?
She was here just a moment ago.
What the hell was she doing?
I know. She said she was looking for you.
Which way did she go?
I didn't watch her go, did I? You know, Lenny, I'm scared I'm going to tangle with that bastard myself. I hate him. Come on, let's go. Well, there's still something left to eat.
Will you ask him about a brown and white one?
Had groundhogs, fun pups anyways. No need to thank me about that.
One much to you, maybe, but meant a hell of a lot to him. Jesus Christ, I don't know how we're going to get him to stay in here tonight. We'll want to stay right out there in the barn. We'll have trouble keeping him right in that littering box with them pups.
You're sure right about it. Never seen such a work. Nearly killed his partner, Bucket Barley. Not that smart. Nearly killed his partner, Bucket Barley. Never seen it. Oh, such a strong guy.
You just tell Lenny what to do and he'll do it as long as it don't take no figuring.
Well, yeah, you two string along together.
What's so funny about it?
Well, I don't know. You know how the hands are. Come in, get the bump, work a month, go on without anyone. It's kind of funny how a cuckoo like him and a smart guy like you string along together.
I ain't so bright neither. I wouldn't be bucking barley for my 15 pound. If I was bright, if I was even a little bit smart, I'd be taking my own crops on my own land instead of doing all the work and not seeing what comes out.
A man would like to do that. I would like to string of mules of my, cut a string of mules of my own mules.
Yeah, it ain't so strange me and him traveling around together. We was both born in Auburn. I knowed his aunt. She took him in when he was a baby. When she died, Lenny come out working with me. Got kind of used to each other after a while. At first I used to play such jokes on him because he was too dumb to take care of himself. But, you know, he was too dumb to know he'd had a joke played on him in the first place. I'll tell you what made me quit playing jokes on him. One day, a bunch of guys was standing alongside the Sacramento River. I was feeling pretty smart. I turns to him and I says, "Jump in."
What happens?
He jumps. Couldn't swim a stroke. Damn near drowned. And he was so nice to me for pulling him in. Clean forgot I told him to jump in. Well, I ain't done nothing like that no more. It makes me kind of sick just telling it.
He's a nice fella. Don't even be smart to be a nice fella. Take a real nice fella. Seems the other kind of way around. Take a real smart fella. Can't hardly ever is a nice fella.
Yeah. Well, of course he's a nuisance most of the time, but yeah, you get used to a guy, and they ain't fun alone no more. You get used to a guy, and then you can't stop being used to him. I tell you. I'm sure dripping at the mouth. I ain't never told no one all this before.
Do you want to get rid of him?
Well, he gets in trouble all the time. Because he's so goddamn dumb. Like whacking in weed. You wouldn't tell no one.
What do you do with me?
You wouldn't tell them. No, of course you wouldn't. Well, you seen this girl in a red dress. Dumb bastard like he is wants to touch everything he sees. Just wants to feel it, you know? So he reaches out to pet this girl's dress. Pretty soon she let out a squeal. And that scared Lenny half to death. So he holds on, because that's the only thing he can think to do. So he holds on. She's screaming her head off. I hear her yelling, so I come running. By that time, Lenny's scared completely. So, you know, I had to sock him over the head with a fence picker just to make him let go. That night, we run out of there, and, well, she went and told the law she'd been raped. And all the guys were coming to lynch us, so we had to hide in an irrigation ditch. Got only our heads sticking out of the water. You know, up right under the reeds. That night we get out of there. Didn't hurt that girl none, just scared her.
He's a funny guy.
Funny, why? Let me tell you what this one thing he did. One time we was going along the side of the river, and I was asking him, "Hey Lenny, you like your pup?"
Yeah, he's brown and white, just like I wanted.
Lenny.
George? See?
Have you guys seen my wife?
Ain't been here.
Where the hell Slit?
You was just out in the barn. You was going to put some tar on the mule so.
How long ago did he leave?
5-10 minutes ago.
I guess maybe I'd like to see this. Probably fun or spoiling or it wouldn't start for some. Fred's handy. Goddamn handy. It's the same, we rarely leave him alone.
Thinks Slim's with his wife, don't he?
Yeah, but I'd like to see if prospect comes off. Come on, let's go.
I ain't going. Me and Lay's gonna stay out of trouble. Gotta make a mistake. So you see Slim out there?
Slim?
Yeah, he told you not to pet the pups so much.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was out there.
And did that girl come out there?
Oh, she ain't been out there.
Okay. And you sure you didn't see Slim talking to her?
No, I ain't seen them talking.
Alright. What's Slim doing out when you were out there?
He had a can of tar and a paintbrush. I don't know what for.
And you're sure you didn't see that girl come out there, like she come in here?
She ain't been out there.
Alright. Guess there ain't gonna be no fighting. Lenny, if there's any fighting, I want you to go clear to the other side of the room, you hear?
I don't want no fighting, George. Both ends the same, George. Why is both ends the same?
I don't know, Lenny. That's just the way they make them.
George?
Yeah? What do you want?
How long till we get that place to live off the fat of the land?
I don't know, Lenny. You gotta make a big steak. I know a place we can get for cheap, but they ain't giving it away.
Tell about that place, George.
I told you. Just last night.
Well, tell again.
All right. Well, it's got about 100 acres. Got a little windmill, and a shack, and a chicken run. Got a little kitchen orchard. Got apples, cherries, cots, nuts. Got some berries. Got a lot of stuff. We got a little piece of alfalfa and plenty of water to flood it.
And rabbits?
I could easily build a few hutches. And you could feed them rabbits.
Damn right I could. You goddamn right I could.
And we'd have some pigs. I'd build up a smokehouse, and whenever we kill a pig, we'd smoke up the hams. And when the salmon come up, running up the river, we'd go out and we'd catch 100 of them. Every Sunday, we'd kill a rabbit or a chicken. We'd have a cow or a goat. And the cream is so goddamn thick, you can cut it off the pan with a knife.
And we can live off the fat of the land?
Sure. We'd have lots of vegetables in that vegetable garden. And whenever we want some whiskey, like we could sell some of those vegetables. And there ain't so much land. We'd have to work too hard. Maybe 6 or 7 hours a day only. We won't have to spend 11 hours a day bucking no barley.
Tell about the house, George.
All right, well, we have a room to ourselves. We wouldn't have to share no bunk room with other guys. No one be trying to can us.
And I get to tend the rabbits. Tell how I do that, George.
All right. Well, you'd go out in the alfalfa, and you'd have a sack. And you'd fill that sack with alfalfa. And then you'd go over to the rabbit cages, and you'd fill it all up.
They nibble and they nibble, just like I seen them do.
Every 6 weeks or so, them does would throw in a litter. So we'd have plenty to eat or sell. And we keep some pigeons to go around the windmill, like they did when I was a kid. It'd be our own. Nobody could can us. If we didn't like a guy, we'd say, "Get the hell out!" And by God, he's got to. And suppose we had a friend over. We have an extra bunk. And we'd say, "Why don't you spend the night?" And by God, he would. We have a setter dog and some striped cats. Of course, Lenny, you gotta watch out. Them striped cats don't get in the rabbits.
If they do, I'll break their necks. I'll break their goddamn necks. I'll smash the fire with a stick. That's what I do.
You guys really know where's the place like guys know there's a place like that?
Suppose we do. What's that to you?
You don't have to tell me where it's at. It could be any place.
Yeah, that's right. You'll find it in 100 years.
How much do they want for a place like that?
Well, we can get it for $600. The old people owns it flat as bust. And the old lady needs medicine. What's it to you anyway? It ain't got nothing to do with us.
I ain't much good with only one hand. Lost it right here on the ranch. That's why they didn't can me. Gave me a job swamping. And they gave me $250 because I lost my hand. And I got another $50 stored right in the bank right now. That's $300. And I've got another $40 coming in at the end of the month. That's $340 I can put in. Tell you what. Suppose I went in with you guys. I might not be able to do much. But I could still clean the dishes and hoe the garden and stuff like that. How'd that be?
I'd have to think about it. It was always just going to be Lenny and me. Didn't think about nobody else. Never did.
I'd leave a will. Give you guys my share in case I keeled over. I ain't got no relations or nothing. How much you guys got? Maybe we could go there right now.
You got $10 between the two of us. But look, if me and Lenny work a month and don't spend nothing at all, we'll have $100. That'd be $440. I'll bet we could swing her for that. And then you and Lenny could go to the ranch and get her started. I'd get a job somewhere else and make up the rest. You could sell eggs and stuff like that. God almighty. I think we could swing her. I'll bet we could swing her.
I got hurt 4 years ago. Just as soon as I can't swamp out no bunkhouses, they'll put me on the county. That won't be no good. I won't be able to get no other jobs and I'll have no place to go. You seen what they done to my dog. They says he wasn't no good to himself or anybody else. When I'm that way, nobody's gonna shoot me. I wish I would. It'd be better than being old and useless. But maybe if I give you guys my money, you'll let me tend the chickens and clean the dishes, even when I ain't no good at it.
We'll do her. Goddamn, we'll go there and fix up that little place. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna write to them old people that owns the place. And Candy, you'll send $100 to Binder.
Sure will. They got a good stove there?
Sure do. Burns coal or wood. God damn it. Look, now, don't nobody tell no one. Just us three and no one else. They're liable to can us just so we can't make up no stink. Look, we're gonna go on like we was a bunch of punks. Like we was gonna buck barley for the rest of our days. Then all of a sudden, one day, bang! We grab our pay and scram out of there. You know, almost seems to me like I can smell that goddamn carnation stuff that Tart dumps on herself.
What are you calling a tart? I come from a nice home and I was brung up by nice people. Nobody never got to me before I was married. I was straight, I tell you. I was good. You know, Carly, you know he wouldn't stay with me if he wasn't sure. You got no right to call me a tart.
Well, if you ain't a tart, then why always hanging around us guys for? You got a house and you got a man.
Oh, sure, I got a man, but he ain't never home. I just want to talk to somebody. Do you think I can just sit in there all day and cook and clean for Curly? There ain't no women. I can't walk to town, and Curly don't take me to dances no more. I just want to talk to somebody.
If you're just being friendly, where are you giving the eye for and flopping your can
I
around?
just want to be nice.
Get out of here. We don't not want no trouble.
Nothing by it, Slim. I'm just asking you.
Well, you've been asking too much. I'm goddamn sick of it. If you can't take care of your wife, what do you expect me to do about it? You lay off me.
I'll pull him back.
She's here. My God, she's dragging her. Now talk. You was here while the other guys was outside. Now talk, goddamn, you talk.
Somebody got beat the hell out of you? I guess I'm elected.
What are you laughing at? Get up! No big son of a bitch is gonna laugh at me. I'll show you who's yellow.
Get him, Lenny! Get him!
gotta get this guy to a doctor. Looks like that every bone in his hand is bust. Wait, go get the candy wagon. We have to take him to the soul bag and get his hand fixed up.
He told me to, George. He told me to.
This punk had it coming to him. But Jesus, he got no hand left.
Old Slip, will Curly's old man ken us now? Will he ken us?
I don't know. You got sense enough to listen? Well, then you listen, Curly. I think you got your hand caught in the machine. No, if you don't tell nobody, we won't. But you just try tell, and if this guy can, we'll tell everyone, and then you'll get the laugh.
What are you doing in here? This here's my room. Nobody's got any right in here but me.
I come into the barn to see my pup, and I seen your light. I thought I could just come and set.
Well, I got right to have a light, goddammit. I ain't wanted in the barn, and you ain't wanted in my room.
Why ain't you wanted?
Because I'm a nigger. They tell me I can't play cards because I'm a nigger. They tell me I stink. Well, I tell you, all of you stink to me.
The pup. I come to see my pup.
Well, go and see your damn pup then. Don't go no place where you ain't wanted.
I looked at him a little. Slim says I ain't to pet him very much.
Well, you've been taking him out of the nest too much. It's a wonder an old bitch don't move him someplace else.
Oh, she don't care. She lets me. Everybody went to town. George Slim and everybody. All but old Candy. He just sits in the bunkhouse, sharpening his pencils, sharpening and figuring.
Figuring? What's he figuring about?
About the land, about the little place.
What land are you talking about?
The land we're gonna get with a house and pigeons.
Come on in and sit down over there.
You think it's a lie, but it ain't a lie. Every word's the truth. You can ask George.
You travel around with George, don't you?
Sure, me and him goes every place together.
Sometimes he talks and you have no clue what the hell it's all about. Ain't that so? Ain't that so?
Yeah, sometimes.
Just talks on, and you have no clue what the hell it's all about.
Yeah? So?
A guy can be sure you won't go blabbering. You can't even understand what I'm saying. George knows what he's on about. I've seen it thousands of times before. One guy talking to another, and the other can't hear or understand what the other's talking about. It's just that they're talking. Suppose George don't come back no more. Suppose he went into town and got killed or hurt, so he ain't coming back. Just suppose that. Suppose he went into town and you never heard from him no more. What do you do then?
I don't know. So what are you doing anyways? George already got hurt.
Want me to tell you what happened to you? They'll take you to the booby hatch, tie you up with a collar, like a dog. Then you'll be just like me, living in a kennel.
Who hurt George? Who hurt George?
I was just supposed to.
What are you supposed for?
George is all right. He'll be all back.
Who hurt George?
George, get back. All right, go on. Sit down now. Go on, sit down.
What is it? Ain't nobody to suppose any hurt to George.
Go on, sit down now. Maybe you can see now. You got George. You know he's gonna be back all right. Suppose you didn't have nobody. Suppose
into the bunkhouse because you was black. How would you like that? Sure, you could play horseshoes until it got dark, but then you had to read books. Books ain't no good. A guy needs somebody. I remember when I was a kid on my old man's chicken ranch, I had 2 brothers. They was always with me. Always there. Slept right in the same room. Right in the same bed. All 3 of us. Had an strawberry patch. Had a alfalfa patch. On Sunday mornings, we would let loose the chickens in the alfalfa patch and watch them while staying on fence posts. White chickens they was.
George says we're gonna have alfalfa.
You're nuts.
No, I ain't. It's the truth. We're gonna do it.
You're nuts. I've seen it thousands of times before. Guys walk in with bindles on their backs and the same damn thought in their head. And every damn one of them wants a little piece of land. And not a single one of them gets it. Just like heaven. Everyone wants a little piece of land. Nobody never gets to heaven, and nobody gets no land.
We are too.
I'm telling you, it's just in your head. Huh, guess someone's back there. Maybe Slim. That you, Slim!
Slim went to town. Say, you see Letty?
You mean the big guy?
Yeah, see him around any place?
Yeah, he's in here.
Listen, Letty, I've been figuring about the place.
You can come into my room if you want.
I don't know. Of course, if you want me to.
Oh, come on in. It's darn be goddamn racetrack in here anyways.
It's a nice place you got here. Must be nice to have a place all to yourself this way.
Sure. And a manure pile under the window. All to myself. It's swell.
The place, you said about the place?
You know, I've been here a long time. And Crook's been here a long time. This is the first time I've been in here.
People usually don't go into a colored man's room. Only person who's been in here is Slim.
The place, we were going to say something about the place.
Oh, yeah. I've been thinking. We can make some real money on them rabbits if we know about it, right?
But I get to tend them. George says I can. He promised.
You two is just kidding yourselves. You're gonna be a swamper in here till they take you out in a wooden box. Hell, I've seen too many guys.
We aren't you gonna do it. George says we are. We got the money right now and everything.
You say you've got the money?
Well, we got most of it. Just a little bit more to get. Have it all in 1 month.
I've never seen a guy actually do it. I've seen people nearly crazy with loneliness for land. I've never seen a guy actually do it. If you need someone to work on the house for nothing, just as keep, I ain't so crippled I can't work like a son of a bitch if I want to.
You couldn't go into town like I told you to, could you, Lenny? You gotta get out in society and flap your mouth. Hold a convention out here.
There wasn't nobody in the bunkhouse to talk to. Ain't there nothing bad, George?
Only time I get any peace is when you're asleep. If you ever get walking in your sleep, I'll cut your head off like a chicken.
We was just sitting here talking. There ain't no harm in that.
Yeah, I hear you. Gotta be here every minute, I guess. Gotta be watching you. Ain't nothing against you, Crooks. We just wasn't going to tell no one.
Didn't you have no fun in town?
Yeah, well, so I get to the place, and Susie's cracking jokes, and all the guys start raising a puny little hell. Pretty soon I sit down, about to have a shot, so I sit down a dime and a nickel, and get to thinking, well, bulk carrot seed you can get for just 15 cents. So pretty soon I come back. Can't think about nothing else. Guys slinging money around got me jumpy.
Well, the guy gotta have some fun. I remember I went to a parlor house in Bakersfield once. Went upstairs on a red carpet, and there was pictures all over the walls. Pretty soon, I go sit in these soft chairs, and there was cigarettes on the table. They was free. Pretty soon, a Jap come in serving drinks, and then drinks was free. You take all you want. Then the girls come in, and they were just as nice, and quiet, and polite, and pretty. They didn't seem like hookers. Made you kind of scared to ask them. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, and what them soft chairs set you back?
$15.
$15? So you got a cigarette, and a whiskey, and a look at a purty dress. It only cost you $12.50 extra. Put in a week's pay to walk on that red carpet.
Week's pay? Sure. But I worked plenty of weeks all my life. I don't remember none of them. But I remember that. That was nearly 20 years ago. The girl I went with was named Arlene. Wore a pink silk dress.
I suppose you're looking for Curly. Well, Curly ain't here.
I know Curly ain't here. I come to ask Crook something. I didn't know you guys was here.
Didn't you hear, George? Get the hell out of here. You know damn well Curly ain't here.
I know where Curly went. Got his arm in a sling and he went anyhow. I just come to ask Crook something.
You should go back to your own house. You oughtn't to come into a colored man's room. I don't want no trouble. You don't want to ask me nothing.
You got a man. You got no call to come around where you ain't wanted, causing trouble.
I try to be nice and polite to you lousy bindlebums, but you're too good. I tell you, I could have went with the shows, and this guy, he was going to put me in pictures right in Hollywood.
I had enough! We told you you ain't wanted here. Calling us bingle stiffs. You got floozy ideas what us guys amounts to. Calling us bingle stiffs. Suppose you could get us canned. Just suppose you could. You think we'd hit the road in search of another two-bit job on some ranch? You don't know we got our own ranch to go to, and our own house and fruit trees. We got friends. Maybe there was a time when we didn't have none of that, but that ain't so no more.
Oh, you damn old goat, if you had 2 bits, you'd be in Soledad getting a drink and sucking the bottom of the glass.
Maybe she should come and ask Crooks what she'd come to ask, and then get the hell home. I don't think she'd come to ask nothing.
What happened to Curly's hand? So it was no machine. Curly didn't act like he was telling the truth. Come on, Crooks. What happened?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Come on, Crooks. Curly really didn't act like he was telling the truth. You done it.
Did no one do it?
So you done it. Well, you had it coming.
I didn't have no fuss with her.
Maybe now you'll talk to me sometimes? You won't have to be scared of him anymore. Everybody was scared of Curly.
Well, look, I didn't stop Curly. If Curly had any trouble, it ain't none of our affair. Just ask Curly about it. All right. Now listen, us guys tried to tell you get the hell out, and it don't seem to do no good. So I'm going to try to tell you a different way. Now look, us guys got something we're going to try and do. And if you stick around, you're going to gum up the works. It ain't your fault. Suppose a guy trip on a round pebble and fall and break his neck. It ain't the pebble's fault, but the guy wouldn't have done it if the pebble went there in the first place.
What are you talking about, pebbles? If you didn't stop Curly, then who did? Say, where'd you get them bruises on your face?
I tell you, he got his hand caught in a machine.
He caught his hand in a machine.
So now get out of here.
So, it was you. Well, maybe you're dumb like they say, but you're a nice fella.
Listen, you. I tried to give you a break. Don't walk into nothing. we ain't gonna let you mess up what we're gonna try to do. Now, let this guy alone and get the hell out of here!
I got a right to talk to anybody I want to. None of you guys can tell me what to do, you bindle stiffs!
Why'd you gotta get killed? You ain't so little as mice. I didn't bounce you hard. Now he won't let me. Now he won't let me. He was too little. He told me he was, but I didn't listen. Maybe George won't care. This here goddamn little son of a bitch wasn't nothing to George.
Lenny, where you at? Thought I'd find you here. Listen, Lenny, it's okay. I've been talking to Slim. He been talking to the boss. We ain't gonna get canned. Slim tell the boss you guys are good buckers. Sorry. The boss got to move that crane. So he got his eye on you and George, but you ain't gonna get the can. Oh, and say, boss give Curly Twyfeld too. Or should he give you and George? Ain't you glad?
Sure.
You ain't sick. Well, I gotta go tell George. See you later.
What are you doing here?
Just sitting here.
Seen what I done?
Yeah, you bring a valise.
You won't tell, will you?
George says I ain't to talk to you. Not talk or nothing.
Does George give you all your orders?
Not talk nor nothing.
You won't tell though, right? Tonight I'm gonna come here and get my stuff and get out. I'm gonna go be in pictures right in Hollywood. All because this guy said I was a natural. I'm gonna be in them pictures and have all the nice clothes like they wear.
George
When they
says
have openings, I'll sit
have
in
a
the
ranch.
hotels and I'll talk to the people from the radio.
Cows,
It won't cost me nothing because I'm in the picture.
and a car.
All those nice clothes like they wear. Just
cod,
because this one guy said I was a natural.
And all that kind of
Of
stuff.
course.
And
When I run away from Curly, my old lady will say, you ain't
and
decent.
wood.
Well,
And there's
really ain't decent no matter what my old lady says.
You can hardly cut it.
My old man was a
And
drunk.
we're gonna have
They
alfalfa.
put him away.
And I'm gonna bring
There.
that
Now I told
alfalfa to the rabbits.
My father,
And then
he
they're
was a
gonna
sign
nibble.
painter.
They're gonna nibble. Just
When
like
he
I've seen
worked.
them
He used to get drunk and he'd paint
They're
these
gonna be
crazy
green.
pictures on the wall.
do. And blue and purple.
One night, him and my old
Just
lady
like
got
George
into
says
an
he would.
awful fight.
And they're gonna
They
be
was always
fluffy,
fighting.
like the ones I see in Furley.
I remember that night he came into my room and he said, let's you and me go away.
Striped cats.
I remember walking down the
I'm
road
gonna
with
make
him.
sure
The
those
trees
those
was black.
cats don't get my
I was
rabbits.
pretty sleepy,
What
so
they
he
do, will
picked
smash
me
the
up
plow
and put
with
me
a
on his
stick.
back.
That's what I do.
And he said,
Break your goddamn necks.
we're gonna live together because you're my own little girl and not no stranger.
Once me and George was
No
two
arguing
fairies
and no fighting
in Sacramento.
because you're my own little daughter. Why, you'll make little cakes for me and I'll paint pretty pictures on the walls.
Then I saw some
In the
long
morning they
hair
caught
rabbits.
us. I wish we'd have went. They locked him up for a drunk. In a little
Maybe-
while he died.
Maybe if I take this here goddamn pup and throw him away, George would never know. And then maybe I could tend the rabbits without no trouble.
Don't you think of nothing but rabbits. Somebody made a ringer.
It's just I like to pet nice things with my fingers.
I think you're a dunce.
No, I ain't. George says I ain't. I just like to pet them.
Well, everybody likes to feel soft things. I like to feel silk and velvet. Do you like to feel velvet?
Oh, sure I do. I had a piece about this big. A lady gave me some, but I ain't seen that piece in a long time. I wish I had it.
Well, you're a nice fella, kind of like a big baby, but a person can kind of see what you need. Sometimes, when I'm brushing my hair, I just like to sit here and stroke it because it's so soft. Some people, like Curly, his hair's just like wire, but mine is soft and fine. Do you want to feel? All right, so right here, nice and gentle.
Oh, that's-
Don't want to muss it up.
Oh, that's nice.
Please let go.
Oh, that's nice.
Stop,
Oh,
please.
that's nice.
Curly!
Please
No,
stop!
no.
Please George will be mad. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. George will be mad at me. Please. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Please stop. Please stop. Please don't do that. Please. Please. Oh my God. I just done a bad thing. I just don't know the bad thing. And George says, hide the brush until he comes for me. I'll bury him. Then George would never know.
Lenny, still in here? Oh. I didn't know you was in here. He was told not to be here. You oughtn't to be sleeping like that. Oh, Jesus Christ. George! George! Oh, Jesus. George!
What do you want?
Look.
What's the matter with you? Jesus Christ.
What done it?
Ain't you any idea? You should have knew. Guess I always did. Way back in my head.
He's such a nice fellow. I didn't think he would have done nothing like this.
Now listen, we gotta tell the guys. There ain't no way out of it. I guess they gotta bring him in. Maybe they won't hurt Lenny. I ain't gonna let him hurt Lenny. Now listen, the guys might think I was in on it. I'm gonna go into the bunkhouse. Then in a minute, I need you to yell like you just seen her. Will you do that? So the guys won't think I was in on it. Can you do that, Candy? Can you?
Sure. I'll do it.
All right. All right. Give me a couple minutes, then yell your head off. I'm going now.
Goddamn tramp! You done it, didn't you? Everybody knowed you messed things up. I could have hoed the garden and washed dishes for them guys. If there was a carnival or a ball game, you went to her. Just said to hell with work and went to her. Into the winter, a little fat stove, and us just sitting there. Hey, you guys! Come here!
We were just in the middle of a... I know who done it. I know that big son of a bitch done it while everyone else was outside playing horseshoes. I'm gonna get my gun and I'm gonna kill him myself. Come on, you guys!
Oh, look at the Luger!
Next bust. Lenny could have done that. Maybe like the time in weed you were telling me about. Guess we have to get him. You know where he might have went?
I don't know.
I guess we have to get him.
Look, Slim, the poor bastard didn't know what he was doing. Look, suppose we just catch him and lock him up. You know he didn't mean this to be mean.
Good if we can keep Curly in. Curly wants to shoot him. Suppose we do lock him up, George. Strap him down and put him in a cage. That won't be no good.
I know.
I think there's only one way out for him.
I know.
The goddamn bastard took the Luger!
Alright, you guys. The nigger's got a shotgun. You take it, Jim.
Well, I come around kids down by the river. You might have went there.
Don't give him no chance. Shoot for his guts. That'll double him over.
I ain't got a gun.
Go and get my old man and grab a gun from him. Let's go now. You're coming with us, fella.
All right, Curly. But listen, don't shoot the guy. He didn't know what he was doing.
Don't shoot him. He's got the Luger, ain't he?
Curly, maybe you should stay here with your wife.
I'm gonna get the bastard myself, and I'm gonna shoot him in the guts. Come on, you guys.
All right, then you stay here, Candy. The rest of us better get going.
Poor bastard.
George didn't give me hell, I bet. But I didn't forget you, Bet. I come right here, hide in the brush and wait for George. George's gonna be mad. George's gonna wish he was alone. Well, I go right up in the hills and find a cave. Of course, I would never have no catch-up. There now. Now George will never know. You'll know. He always knows.
Get in the brush.
I ain't done nothing, George.
Get the cattails, damn you.
Better not get so far ahead. We ain't got a gun. Them tracks in the path was fresh here. Must have come this way.
Brush is pretty thick here. He might have went this
Look,
way.
over there's the county road and open fields and the highway. We better spread out and cover this brush.
Slim's right, we ought to spread out.
Remember what I said. Shoot for his guts.
All right, let's move out. Me and George will take the county road. You guys take the highway. When you get separated, meet back here. Remember this place.
All I care about is getting the bastard.
Where is he? You want? Should I go away?
Honey.
Where are them guys going?
Hunting.
I like hunting. Yeah, why can't we go with them?
It don't make no difference. Sit down.
Is it because I done a bad thing?
It don't make no difference.
George?
Yeah?
Ain't you gonna give me hell, George?
Give you help?
Yeah, like you always done. Like, if I didn't have you, if I was alone.
Jesus Christ, Sonny. You can't remember nothing that happens, but you remember every word I say.
Well, ain't you gonna say it? If I didn't have you.
If I didn't have you, I could get along so easy. I could get a job at work and no mess.
And when the end of the month come.
And when the end of the month come, I could go to a cat house.
Ain't you gonna give me no more hell? Well, I can go right off up in them hills and find a cave.
No, I want you to stay with me.
Then tell me like you done before.
Tell you what.
About the other guys and about us.
All right. Guys like us that work on ranches, it's the loneliest guys in the world. They go on a ranch and work up a stake and then they blow it all in. They ain't got nobody in the world who gives a hoot in hell about it.
But not us. Tell it us.
But not us.
Because?
Because I got you.
And I got you. We got each other. That's who gives a hoot in hell about us.
Lenny, stand up. Take your hat off. Air feels fine.
George?
Yeah?
Can you tell about that place where we live off the fat of the land?
All right. Sit right there and I'll talk to you like you can see it, Lenny. We're going to get a little place. And we'll have a cow. And some pigs.
And rabbits?
Yeah. And some rabbits.
And I get to tend the rabbits?
And you get to tend the rabbits.
And live off the fat of the land?
Look out there, Lenny. Like you can really see it.
Where, George?
Right there, across the river. Can't you almost see it?
I'm looking, George.
That's right. It's gonna be nice there. Ain't gonna be no trouble, no fights. Ain't nobody gonna hurt no one or steal from them. It's gonna be nice.
I can see it. I can really see it.